Hey everybody. Since the ALCO PA-1 came across the country, the nickel plate number 190, seems everyone had ALCO fever, PA-1 fever. Or they did, or maybe I still do, and that's it. But anyways, I thought it'd be fun to show you my PA-1 PB-1, B meaning the B units, no cab. And what's interesting is the PA-1 is probably one of my all-time favorite diesel locomotives. And you would think a guy who's, that one of your favorites, I would have a modern DC with sound model. And guess what? I don't. I don't know why. Mike Toy Train came out with them. Proto and Walters all have DCC and sound versions in nickel plate. And for some reason, I just never got around to getting one. Maybe in the future. But anyways, so I want to show you the ones I have. And first we'll show you, this is an Athearn blue box. And the lighting kind of stinks, doesn't it? Let's see if I can move the light a little bit. So you can see they have different number boards. They're on the side like that. Let's pan in, shall we? And the D&H had the number boards on top. Now these were old Santa Fe, so I don't know if Santa Fe put that number board on top or D&H had it. The horn is incorrect. And they did have the dual headlights, the D&H. And there was 4 of these. And I don't have the windows in these. These came with a big plastic molds of little tiny windows you had to glue in yourself. And, it's a blue box. This things were, made in what? Probably early 70s or whatever. So the detail may not be there. But hey, these were standard for years. And they didn't put the numbers on. Athearn. You had to do it yourself. So it was 18. This is 19. This is a dummy. Meaning there's no motor in there. And I got this from a collection. And what else I got to have with D&H? Oh, the blue on these. I think the blue is incorrect. I believe the original blue that D&H had was closer to the nickel plate blue. I could be wrong. There's some of you D&H experts out there can maybe verify that. Oh, and also the headlight here, the one on top of the square frame, that was painted yellow around it. I noticed in photos. And those 4 have survived. There's 2, I think 2 down in Mexico, 2 in America. I can't remember what their 5th PA-1 is. And there's a B unit that survived. Here's the New York Central. Very handsome paint scheme. So is the D&H. And the number boards are wrong. New York Central did not have these big number boards that I have seen. They had the small ones on the side like the D&H. The horns are fairly close. They had the just a single chime, 2 single chime horns, at least originally. And that's the power unit. And this is the B. Now this one's a dummy, no motor in it. And I believe New York Central had B units. Once again, I'm not a New York Central expert, so then again, I wouldn't call myself an expert on nickel plate either, and I love nickel plate. But that's the B unit. And here we have nickel plate number 180. That was the original PA-1 Bluebird that Athearn put out, blue box, in the 70s. I got this. You can see the glue. Hey, when I got this, I was like 10 years old, okay? This was the, I forgot what I was talking about. This was the first number they did, and it was out for years. And it came with silver trucks. They were just cast metal trucks, and they were silver. I painted these black, and actually they should probably be blue. And the back is dark blue, which nickel plate had these in white or off-white. The number boards I painted because they did not come numbered or painted. So I painted them black, white framed them, and put the number on. And I changed the horn. It had the horn like the other engines, the 2 single chimes. This is the horn that nickel plate had on their locomotives towards the end of their career. And the nickel plates also had a ladder on the side. And in the front, about here, was a notch. Cut up a hole, and the bell was in there. I'm hoping Proto does another run and does that version. They've kind of done the, I believe, as delivered version of the nickel plate. But I got this in, I'm going to say like 76, maybe. And guys, I thought, you know what? I'm finally the big league. I've got an Athearn Blue Box locomotive. This is my first Athearn Blue Box. And, you know, for a kid who loved nickel plate, there weren't many options. There were only like 2 locomotives made, unless you went to brass. So to get my hands on one of these was like, yes. And then later on, Athearn released, I think in the 80s, number 182. This is a dummy. It's got black plastic trucks when they used to be die cast. And it's the same, it's identical, just a different number. And like I said, I painted the number boards in front up here. And I changed the horn. I did a pretty good job matching the paint, I gotta admit. I think I did that in my 20s. You can still see the little hole markings where the original horns were. And Athearn also did a B unit. Nickel plate never had a B unit. I would say Athearn just did it because, hey, they have the mold, they're making from everybody else, so why not do a nickel plate? And I like they did 191 because there was no nickel plate 191 PA ALCO. So it kind of fits in the number scheme. You know, nickel plate had 11 of the PA1s. Then later on, and then I think it was 90s, Proto 2000. The sucker's hefty. Came out with the PA1 and much better detail. You can see, let's pan in. They got this better looking horn, which is as delivered. It's got lift rings and lots of dust too. These have been sitting on a shelf. Better roof detail and venting. Now the back end is gray with sprung diaphragm. Got all your MU hoses and a dead spider. Isn't that cool? Separate grab irons. And when these came out, I'm like, oh yes. But I don't remember which one I got first. But at the time, they were not, I think they're around, geez, I don't remember, $60, $70, which at that time was a good chunk of change, especially when you didn't have money to spare, like I did at the time. So I got the one, and it's just like, oh, these things run like silk. And they have the simulated oscillating headlight. It flickers back and forth like it's, you know, like the wig-waggy lights. I can't remember what they call them. Is it called wig-waggy? Or wig-wag? I don't know. It's hard to think when you're talking on the fly here. But they came out with 2 of them. Well, I had a shop order me the second one. And that's just when I got laid off, and I don't remember I was working. So I had no money to pay for this. And it was coming in. I'm like, oh no. So I scraped up as much money as I could. And this place took trade-ins. And I had a River Rossi E8 in Lackawanna, Erie Lackawanna colors. 2 of them, they're identical. They let me trade that in, and it gave me just enough with the cash I had to get the second unit. And you know what? Being who I am, I hate the fact that I traded one of my trains in. Because I have every train I've ever gotten, ever. That's just how I am. Kooky, weird, what do you want to call it? I don't care. So anyways, they did 2 units. And they have the proper blue trucks. And I'll run this on the track so you can see that cool light effect. The only thing is, the number boards, I think, are incorrect. See how much bigger they are on the Athearn? I believe they are that, if you look at them, they are bigger than what Proto 2000 did, even though they have better detail. I don't know if they have a better nose contour. I assume Proto has the best body since they went and scanned an actual PA1 before they put them in production. But there is my collection of PA1s and PB1s. And if you like looking at my collection, I mean, I've got, what are we up to now? Oh, geez. 51, 52 years of collecting model trains. If you guys like to see more of my collection, you know, let me know in the comments if you find this interesting to see, you know, all the locomotives I have. The problem I have is so many of them are in dressers and totes and boxes and stuff. So I have to go treasure hunting to find stuff because I don't know where stuff is. But I hope you enjoy looking at this, and let's go run a couple of these on the track. So here's my original Athearn Blue Box PA1. Has that nice Athearn motor grumble. I couldn't tell you how many hours I've ran this locomotive, because once I got it as a kid, I'm like, I know somebody, I have an Athearn blue box engine, you know, because before this, I had an AHM little switcher, and I think like a Mantua GP20. All right, let's take a look at the Pro 2000. Okay, now the Proto 2000 is like a Swiss watch compared to the blue box. Smooth, with dual flywheels. Watch, we'll pick up the speed. Now let's cut the power right here. Power off. We'll get a front shot so you can see those headlights. Another thing the Pro 2000 had at the time, directional lighting, which today is commonplace, but you know, back then it's like, oh yeah, directional lighting. And just for fun, we'll run the D&H. There's a lot of D&H fans around. And for good measure, we'll run the New York Central. She needs to be clean, she's a little laggy. All right, I hope you enjoyed looking at my PB-1 collection. And I haven't done this in a long time, showing parts of my collection. I did more when I first started this channel. I kind of got away from it. But if you guys like to see more of my collection, or if there's questions like, do you have this or that? Hey, ask me in the comments. I might have something you might find interesting. All right, everybody. Hope you have a great day. And where you see trains, model trains, real trains, you know, anything that runs on two rails, you might just see me.